Okay, we've pre-cut our 1x3 lumber and we've spray painted it flat black just for aesthetics. You can do whatever you want. You can stain it, you can paint it purple, you can paint it red. If pink's your color, go with pink. It's just to make the wood look a little bit better. I like flat black because it's easy, it dries fast. Use whatever is clever for you. These are our side pieces. This is basically going to be the mount for the board. We're going to set these down first. And then we're going to put these across it as slats like this. Okay, you're going to square off the ends. And the board is going to be built with slats across it like this. Now, normally what I would recommend is you get your front and your back squared off first. And then you're going to screw these in. We're using 1-inch coarse thread drywall screws, available at any hardware store. Normally what you're going to do is you're going to set these out. Once you get them squared up, start with these two pieces first. And you're going to take your drill. You're going to drill a little pilot hole here. We're going to drill 2 holes right in the center to either side of dead center of this piece here. So we're going to drill one right here as our first pilot hole. Okay, now I'll flip this around, and we're going to put our first screw in there. Again, making sure that you have the corners flush and square it off. Everything's even here and at the back side. Put your screw there and mount it down. Make sure you get that flush. And that's it. We're going to continue on and put a second piece in each board. And the reason we're going to go with 2 pieces per board, it's going to make it a little bit more stable, a little bit less likely to snap apart on us. So I'm going to put the second one here. And we're going to continue this for each one of the slats until we get both ends of these 4 pieces of wood assembled. And we'll put our last screw in. There we go. Now we have the basic frame of the board and everything's nice and flush and even and square. Okay, now that we've got the outer framework of our pedal board set up, the next thing we're going to worry about is our slats and our board positioning for the pedals. Now we can lay these slats across here and decide where we're going to put these. The reason that this is a little bit of an issue, you could just kind of eyeball these so that they're equal distance. So each space is the same as the other space. You can kind of do it by eyeball. But what comes into play here is how we're going to mount the pedals. For example, on this Behringer, we have screws here, here, and here. Now we're going to need at least 4 of these to be mounted down to hold this pedal to the board. So we want to give some consideration to our slat placement as it relates to the holes on the pedals so that we have wood to actually mount the board and the pedal into the board at the correct spots. For example, here we have a screw right here, so I do have wood at this point to mount it to, and that would work actually very well. With our pedal tuner, we're going to put that there, and that should work just fine. Our EQ pedal, this is a little different. Some of these mini Dano pedals, they don't have any screws on them to mount to. We do have one center screw here, and we're going to show you a little trick on how to mount this. But for right now, just make sure that it's going to fit where I want to put it, and that's going to go right there. And then our space chorus. Again, we have 4 screws here, and so they need to correspond with our wood so that we know that we have a good place to screw that into the board. And that should serve us well right there. So our slat width is working fine with the pedals that we have. Now our wood.com yellow jacket, we want to make sure that we have sufficient wood to mount this as well. So this will probably go right along this point. So we have access to the exterior of it to plug our AC cable into. So that will go probably right around Actually, let's put it over on this side and right around there. So now that we know that our slats work there, we can take the pedals off and then mount those slats to the existing framework. And just as before, we're going to use a screw, 1-inch drywall screws, and our screwdriver / drill. Now that we know that these are lined up, we'll drill our holes. And put our first 2 screws in. And there it is. There's our completed platform.